This was all before digital art. This was all
That's what I
traditional.
Yeah, I drew it on
Oh my
paper.
God.
You had
Oh my.
to do the frame, 50 pages, and first of all, create the characters.
Mm,
And after reading the script, say, okay, what does this character look like? How would they
Oh
stand?
my
And all of that.
God.
So I
mm,
did all of that. During the strikes, I was just doing other things. Anyway, when I started working in this digital studio, I used to make cards digitally now. So I got really familiar with computers. I worked with Macs and PCs and all of that. In PwC, trying to be an accountant, didn't like it. We had another team that were into IT consulting. I said, you know what,
Mhm.
I want to work in that team. I asked if I could change my job to that into that team, and they said, oh no, you haven't got an IT degree. So I said, okay, I'll go and get one then. Every month for 2, maybe 3 years, when I get my salary, I would go to this unofficial foreign currency traders, right? They call them the malams. I will go
Mm.
and buy pounds and I will deposit it into a domiciliary account because the naira was losing value, right?
Mm.
I know this is the school fee. I was going to travel to the UK to do a master's. That was my plan.
Wow. Back then, changing careers is not like today where you could just become a developer or an IT person without getting a degree. You literally had to, even though you already had a degree, you had to go back and get another degree.
I had to go and get a master's. Yeah. I wasn't told you have to get this. I was just told you don't have it as the
Mm.
excuse. So I
Mm.
said, okay, if I have it, you have to come up with another excuse,
That's
right?
fair enough.
And I did want to travel anyway. So it was hard. I had 3 suits, one nice Toyota Camry, and I was living in a 1 bedroom flat. All the money I was earning, I was just buying this foreign currency and dumping it until I made up to about, I think it's about 6,000, maybe 7,000 pounds
mm.
that I was able to use to pay half of the fees. And then I came to the UK, went to London South Bank University.
Wait, did you come to the UK by yourself? Okay. And when you were saving up that money
Yeah.
and buying pounds in order to
Yeah.
come, how much of your salary was that?
I can't remember the actual amount, but it was like 80.
Wow. So you were like putting 80% of your salary away constantly just so you can go do masters. Man.
Yep.
Perseverance.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I was living
Yeah.
at home in my parents' house, but they had the we call it the boys' quarters at the back. So I just had
Mm.
the little space there and bed, TV, small radio. I was also reading for exams at the time, so there was no time to mess around. Right, you go to work,
Mm.
you go and study for your accounting exams. Then I think I switched to ACCA at the time as well, and it was just a triangular life, right? But anyway, long story short, came to the UK. My sister was living here though, in the UK, so
Okay.
I had somewhere to live. Had to work night shift, security guard while doing the masters, so you could get the rest of the fees
I
and
see.
also pay for my transport to get to work and back, to get to school and back. So I did that for another year and a bit. The winters were hard because you had to patrol Canary Wharf at night, right?
Mm.
12-hour shift from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. This is me coming from 35 degrees in Lagos.
Basically, during the day, you would be doing your masters, and then from 7 p.m., you were on the security guard job.
Yeah,
And so you could continue to pay for the masters that you were doing.
yeah.
Okay.
When it got really cold, I bailed on that security job. Though I went to work in PC World, but I was AWOL, as they say. I just took off. I didn't take any shift. Just forget about me. And then the PC, it wasn't paying as well.
What year was this?
2001, 2002.
2001, 2002 was when you came to the UK.
Yeah,
Fair
yeah.
enough.
It was hard. I did the masters and I finished with a distinction. Top student in the class
Congratulations.
in information systems management. Then I went back to Nigeria, right?
Wow.
Because I took study leave. I took a year
Oh, from your job?
for my job in PwC. I didn't resign. And so when I didn't want to go back at first, but I tried to get, there's this immigration visa program that was going on at the time. Tried to get that, but I couldn't get a job that got me into the salary range for the location I was based in, which was in the UK. However, I looked at the salary range for someone that was applying from outside of the country, from Nigeria, and my salary back in Nigeria actually met the range. I said, you know what, better go back, get the 12 months, because you have to show 12 months of working at that pay level, and then reapply. So as I got the payslip for the 12 months when I came back, straight into the application, and I got the work permit. So in that time when I went back, got married, and my wife and I, we sold everything that we had, and that came to £3,000. And so £3,000, 2 suitcases, and my wife was 5 months pregnant. We came to the UK in 2004. I think it was July or something like that. So just certificates, 2 suitcases, £3,000, 5 months pregnant. So we're on the clock, right? We need to settle down before this baby pops out. And yeah, that was 2004. So this is 20 years now since then. And a lot's happened. But when I came, so I then joined PwC London, applied directly, got a job in PwC London, doing the risk work.
Were you able to get that job immediately?
Yes. Well, about 3 months. I first tried everywhere else but PwC. I was like, I'm not PwC again. I'm going to go to everywhere, nice places, Goldman Sachs and all these brands I've heard about, anything there. When the money ran out, I think the last £1,200 we had was what we paid for the deposit for rent for a 1-bedroom flat, and then the actual rent. You have to pay your deposit, and then you pay the rent for the month. Yeah, I did that. I just bought my travel card for that month, and I didn't have any money.
Like, there's no more money left.
My first salary came in just as the money ran out. But yeah, I mean, at the time, it was just focus, single-minded focus, and just one step at a time.
And now you've gone past multiple levels to where you are today.
I've done quite a bit. So I've worked at PwC for quite a few years, then moved to Shell for about 9 years. From Shell, HSBC, to the current organization where I'm in. I've been there for 9 years now. But I think the biggest role that I had was at Shell. And when I joined PwC, I pretty much took a demotion from the grade I was in Nigeria. I was happy to do that. Then I got a promotion really quickly. Then I joined Shell. Again, I also got a demotion. Then I got promoted really quickly again, because they don't expect you to be that good. That level.
Why? They don't expect you to be that good? Because usually when people switch jobs, right?
Yeah.
They're going up or wrong. You're switching jobs, but you're going down before you go back up.
Yeah.
And why is that?
It's because of what you look like. There's an expectation of less competence, but it is what it is. I think my view on things is that the society that you have is society. It is what it is. So how are you going to thrive despite the challenges you face? Just don't be surprised when you experience that kind of thing.
Yeah. Basically, you know that saying, because you're black, you have to work twice as hard. And blah, blah, blah. That saying was true for you. Every time you switch jobs, you actually constantly prove that you are good enough so that they could promote you again.
Absolutely. Within a year, I was promoted, which is very different from other people in the company. And then after that promotion, within another maybe 4 years, I was promoted again to a fairly senior role. I got to a role where I was one of the few black people at that level in the company. And that's when I started becoming more conscious about how I can help other people. I watched a book that I read, but it just say, open yourself up to new experiences. Just say yes to everything that comes your way. If someone asked me to do whatever, I would just say, sure, why not? I'll do it. I just kept saying yes. That's when I was asked, well, do you want to be part of the employee resource group in Shell at the time? And I said, well, yeah, why not? I joined the group as the communications lead. It was called the Shell African Network at the time. I joined as the communications lead, and I unleashed my creativity onto the newsletter, branded it, I think we called it the San Vibes was what I called it. And I just put some African fabric kind of patterns on it. And the way the story was written, it was just different. Everyone was like, whoa.
Did you do some illustrations?
No, I didn't. I started going for creative writing lessons as well. The way I wrote the stories and the things in the newsletter was just different, very refreshing, new. I quickly made an impact. And after a year, they were looking for someone to become the chair of the network. And I said, yes. I was job network alongside my regular job for about 3 years. And that's when I met a lot of people. I met Yvonne Thompson there.
Dr. Yvonne Thompson, yeah.
I met Tommy Lube's brother, Roland Lube. He actually works there. I met quite a few people. I think I might have met Diane Abbott at some point.
Oh, wow.
But the network was a high profile one at the time. Yeah, that helped start developing the profile that's gotten me into lots of different spaces now.
Amazing.